A pleasant day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jimmy Tanawan and I will be your reporter for today's discussion. So, I will be present and discuss to you all about the political geography, physical geography, topography, climate, demographics, customs and culture, gastronomy, destinations, and what will be the visa requirements of the Filipinos upon entry to the countries of Vanuatu, Alabama, and Alaska. So without any further ado, let's move forward to the first country, which is situated at Western Pacific Ocean of Oceania, the country of Vanuatu. The Republic of Vanuatu's land area is made up of a group of islands in the southwest Pacific, lying south of Solomon Islands and east of the state of Queensland in Australia. The country comprises 6 provinces: the Malampa, which takes its name from the first syllable of their 3 main islands, the Malakula, Amrim, and Paama. The next province is Penama, then Sanma, Shefa, Tafea, and lastly, Torba, which consists of the Banks Islands and the Torres Islands. Torba is derived from the initial letters of Torres and Banks. For its physical geography, Vanuatu is a mountainous archipelago of volcanic origin with narrow coastal plains. The highest of all the mountains is Mount Tabuemasana, that has 1,877 meters, or about 6,158 feet. Then for its topography, the terrain of Vanuatu is largely volcanic, with some of the islands featuring active volcanoes, which contribute to the mountainous nature of the islands, with sharp cliffs and jagged rocky outcroppings. The highest peaks in Vanuatu can be found on the island of Espiritu Santo, with some mountains reaching heights of more than 1,800 meters. It is a popular destination for hikers and mountaineers. Despite the steep terrain, much of the landscape is covered with lush vegetation, with dense forests and tropical plants covering much of the islands. Vanuatu has a tropical climate, more specifically a tropical rainforest climate, with noticeably wetter and drier months and hot, humid conditions year-round. Vanuatu consists of 2 seasons, hot and wet, which is from November to April, and cooler and drier from May to October. The southeast trades are the prevailing winds. Although northerlies during the hot season provide of the heavy rainfall, Vanuatu can be affected by tropical cyclones. Cyclone Pam was one of the worst cyclones to ever hit Vanuatu, and had been described as a worst-case scenario for the country, with the estimated cost of damage being in the hundreds of millions. Then in 2020, Cyclone Harold caused severe damage to Vanuatu and other Pacific nations. Moving forward to demographics, the current population of Vanuatu is 337,005 as of October 27, 2023, based on Worldometer elaboration of the latest United Nations data. It ranks number 182 in the list of countries by population. The 1997 population is 94% Melanesian, 4% European, and 4% others, Vietnamese, Chinese, and Pacific Islander. Known for its beautiful, friendly locals, fresh produce, and delicious cuisines, Vanuatu is a foodie paradise. Vanuatu food is all about using fresh local ingredients with traditional cooking methods to create delicious meals that bring people together. If you're looking to tempt your taste buds and try delicious foods that you won't find at home, Vanuatu is sure to impress. The first dish is laplap, known as the national dish of Vanuatu. It is a delicious meal prepared by grating bananas, breadfruit, taro or yam into a thick vegetable paste. The paste is wrapped in banana leaves with meat of your choice, then cooked in an underground natural oven and served with fresh coconut cream. It is usually prepared for special occasions throughout Vanuatu, so if you do get the opportunity to try it, do not pass it up. If you are interested in trying Vanuatu's signature seafood preparations, you must try citrus baked fish in coconut cream. This typical Vanuatu food is processed seafood, which is quite famous because it has a unique taste. Citrus baked fish with coconut cream consists of sliced whole fish, lemon and orange, coconut cream, salt and pepper, This fish is usually served with salad, rice, or bananas as a companion menu. Next is Santo beef. It is a delicious meal known for its tenderness and unique taste. Santo beef is an absolute must-try when visiting Vanuatu. It comes from local cattle on the northern Isle of Santo who live amongst the coconut trees and feed off Vanuatu grass and coconut rind. It is served with your choice of sides and sauces. This prime cut of beef is lean and full of flavor. For its customs and culture, Vanuatu is recognized as one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world. Art in its many forms, from body decorations and tattoos to elaborate masks, headwear, and carvings, are also a vital part of ritual celebrations and social life. Similar to Australian Aboriginal stories and Maori legends of the past, Ni Vanuatu culture is abundant in mythic legends. Many fascinating traditions that are specific to the islands can be found in Vanuatu. The tam-tam or drumming ritual is one of the most well-known traditions. This is a customary dance and song celebration that takes place to honor momentous occasions like weddings or funerals. Men on the island of Malakula wear nambas or penis sheets, which is another unique Vanuatu culture or tradition. The nambas are a traditional kind of clothing that cover the penis and are manufactured from a variety of materials, including bark, bamboo, or pandanus leaves. Visitors might see the nambas being worn at customary festivities on Malakula. For its destination, Vanuatu is the country you need in your life you've been probably never heard of. It has stunning landscapes, beautiful untouched waters, shipwrecks, rich history and culture, friendly island people, an active volcano, fresh seafood, award-winning chocolates, the world's only underwater post office, and kava. So for the first tourist destination we have is Luganville. Luganville is Vanuatu's second city with an extended, relaxed quay street going side by side to the waterfront. Apart from the outlook across the channel to Eyre Island, it's not an exceptionally fascinating city, but with a good range of accommodation, several refreshing cafes and cave bars, many dive and travel operators, and a bustling market. Next is Pentecost. It is significantly abode to the naghol or land diving, the most noteworthy tradition in all of Melanesia, where men make sensational jumps of courage from lofty towers as a gift to the gods. And lastly, we have the Mount Yasur volcano. It is the world's most open active volcano and is restlessly bubbling away on Tana Island. The experience up the crest is one you won't easily forget, as liquefied rock gleams red when it's cast into the air, and the rumble and hiss of emitting gases causes one of the best natural phenomena on the earth. So upon entry to the country of Vanuatu, Philippine citizens do not need a tourist visa in 2023. Philippine passport holders can stay in Vanuatu for a short period of time or for 30 days. So the requirements you need is the passport validity for travel to Vanuatu. Next is you are required to present the following documents upon your entry in Vanuatu. So passport that is valid for at least 6 months from the date of your entry. Next is a return ticket, provision of proof of hotel reservation, and lastly, the medical insurance covering the duration of your entire stay in Vanuatu. Failure to meet all the above listed documents required will cause you an entry denial. An airport embarkation fee costing 2,800 Vanuatu currency is levied on passengers embarking on international flights, except for children under the age of 12 years. So now, moving forward to our second country and the first country of the state of the America, the Alabama, U.S. Alabama is a state in the southeastern region of the United States, bordered by Tennessee to the north, Georgia to the east, Florida and the Gulf of Mexico to the south, and Mississippi to the west. Alabama is the 30th largest by area and the 24th most populous of the U.S. states. It is nicknamed the Yellowhammer State after the state bird. Alabama is also known as the Heart of Dixie and the Cotton State. The state tree is the longleaf pine, and the state flower is the camellia. Alabama's capital is Montgomery, and its largest city by population and area is Huntsville. For its physical geography and topography, Alabama is divided into three regions. First is coastal, second is upper plains, and third is mountains. Alabama has high mountainous ridges and deep valleys, foothills of the Appalachians, Black Belt prairie, flat coastal plains, river deltas, lakes, springs, huge cave systems, swamps, gulf and bay coastlines, and barrier islands. All of this land diversity is drained by numerous river systems, with the mighty Tennessee River coursing through the northern one-fifth of the state. Four-fifths of that portion of the state below the Tennessee River is drained by several major rivers flowing southwestward into Mobile Bay, together forming the Mobile River Basin. For its climate, Alabama is located within the humid subtropical region in the Köppen classification system. Alabama's climate is characterized by relatively mild winters, hot summers, and year-round precipitation. The Alabama climate is with an average annual temperature of about 64 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius, mellowed by altitude to some 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 degrees Celsius in the northern counties and reaching 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 19 degrees Celsius in the southern counties. Moving forward to its demographics, Alabama's current population is 5,098,746. It was recently eclipsed by South Carolina's, pushing Alabama to 34th state ranked by population. Alabama's population growth is at 0.26% per year, which ranks it as the 36th fastest growing state. Based on current population estimates, there are 94.4 people per square mile, over a total surface area of 52,420 square miles, which ranks Alabama 27th in the population density in the United States. And now for its gastronomy, the state of Alabama is famous for its unique southern cuisine, and Alabama food showcases the region's culinary history in all its glory. From fried okra to pulled pork barbecue, the culinary delights in food in Alabama will tinker your taste buds. So we have is the fried green tomatoes. Fried green tomatoes are a classic Alabama food that has been enjoyed for generations. This dish dates back to the 1800s when Alabama farmers would fry up any unripe tomatoes they had it on hand in order to preserve them. Next, we have fried catfish. It is a staple in Alabama food culture. Catfish are a type of freshwater fish that are found in rivers and lakes in the southern United States. This southern classic consists of fish fillet that has been lightly floured, coated in seasoned cornmeal mix, and fried to golden perfection. It is usually served as a traditional main dish, often accompanied by hush puppies, coleslaw, and other sides. But you can totally have it as an appetizer as well. And lastly, the most well-known fried chicken. It has a special place in Alabama's culinary history and is a staple of Southern comfort food. Many Alabama residents have fond memories of enjoying fried chicken at family gatherings, church events, and other special occasions. For their customs and culture, Alabama is rich in rural culture traditions. Storytelling in particular has attracted the attention of folklore specialists, and quick making is also a highly developed art. Sacred music in the form of gospel ensembles and shape note or fasola singing remains a vital part of Alabama's cultural life. Beauty, history, culture, and adventure all come together in Sweet Home, Alabama, a state rich in everything from a world-class golf to white sand beaches. And some customs they have are, first is be ready for 3 square meals a day. There are 3 proper meals in Alabama: breakfast, dinner, and supper. Breakfast is in a bowl of a cereal or last night's leftovers. Your morning meal can be a pretty hefty, while dinner is traditionally a light meal designed as a holdover to supper. Alabamians love to eat and many love to cook, so don't be afraid to clear your plate when those home cooked meals fly out of the kitchen. That's how they know you appreciate it. The second one is the age comes before beauty. Respect for age and station are big things in Alabama. Everyone takes pains to make sure that elderly relatives are included. Sometimes that means letting them pick the restaurant or claiming the best seat at the table. Often it means that they are served even before guests unless they yield that privilege. Next is mind your mouth and your manners. This is probably the only serious one on the list. Watch your mouth and mind your manners when you're visiting Alabama. You can't go around dropping F-bombs everywhere, insulting people, or otherwise acting rude and disrespectful. Casual vulgarities are out of place, people will notice, and someone may have a mind to do something about it. That's why you need to be careful to the choice of your words. Next is all about family all the time. Family unity is one of the most important things you will see in Alabama. I'm not talking about the immediate family, that's a given already. I'm talking about the whole family in general. All of them, down to the second and third cousins, distant relatives, and even friends of the family who didn't have a good place to go when a gathering took place. If you are visiting, you're probably in that last category, but don't worry. If you're present and smiling, that's good enough for them. Get comfortable, take your shoes off, and stay a while. And lastly, wear your best on Sundays. There is something to be said about dressing up, namely that is expected on Sundays. Between Sunday service and the post-service family dinner, it's not out of place to wear something nice. Alabamians take it a step further because it's not just God or family we dress up for. It's also for football. Sometimes people go all out with their bright orange or deep crimson button-downs and slacks, but most of the time it is subtle. Maybe someone is wearing a little pin or some earrings. It's just a little way to let everyone else know where the battle lines are drawn. Next is the destination. If you are planning to go to trip to the south and wondering what to do in Alabama, wedged between Mississippi and Georgia, Alabama is a Gulf Coast state rich in history, so prepare to learn something on your visit. So here are some destinations that you might visit. First is the Botanical Gardens, Huntsville. It provides the visitor with a serene space to relax and unwind. Visitors can walk between the flower displays, woodlands, and wildflowers. Next is the downtown Mobile. It is a beautiful city in Alabama. It is packed with art museums and other performing art activities. The city is famous for having the oldest carnival in the United States. Next and lastly is the Gulf Shores. It is a beautiful place for relaxation, fun, and adventure, with white sand beaches and gorgeous sunsets that you will never want to leave. The sand is made from quartz grains that have been washed down over thousands of years from the Appalachian Mountains. For its visa entry requirements for Philippine citizens, you need to get an American B1 or B2 visa because it is a mandatory document to enter and visit the US. This visa has many benefits. It is valid for 10 years after issued and allowed you to stay a maximum of 180 days per entry in the US. So, to get the B1 or B2 American visa, you need to complete the checklist below. First is the valid passport. Every person who wishes to apply for a B2 visa is required to hold a passport that is valid for at least another 6 months from the intended date of departure from the US. And second is photo. Along with the application form, you need to upload a photograph of yourself. It needs to be as recent as possible and to follow all the other photo requirements. Third is the email address. Once you send the application form, iVisa will process it and send you the application form confirmation page via email. You will have to print it out before you go to your interview. And lastly, the means of payment. You will have to pay the fee for the B1 or B2 visa. In some cases, you can pay it after application form is completed, but it must be done before the interview. Next, in our last country, we have Alaska. Alaska is a non-contiguous U.S. state on the northwest extremity of North America. It borders British Columbia and Yukon in Canada to the east, and it shares a western maritime border in Bering Strait with Russia-Chukotka Autonomous Okrug. The Chukchi and the Beaufort Seas of the Arctic Ocean lie to the north and the Pacific Ocean lies to the south. Technically a semi-exclave of the U.S., Alaska is the largest exclave in the world. For its physical geography, Alaska has 39 mountain ranges containing 17 of the 20 highest peaks in the United States. Surface areas of more than 10 square miles among Alaska's more than 3 million lakes. The longest river, Yukon, with 1,875 miles in Alaska and 2,298 total. There are more than 3,000 rivers in the state. Then for its topography, Alaska's lowest elevation is sea level. At the Pacific Ocean, primary land features include the southeastern Panhandle Archipelago, the Aleutian Islands in the southwest, the Rug Alaska Range in the south-central region, and the treeless tundra and Brooks Mountain Range in the north. Major rivers in Alaska include the Yukon, Porcupine, Tanana, Koyukuk, Noatak, Susitna, and Copper. So, Alaska is known for its variable climate, which is influenced by ocean currents. The western coasts are bathed by the Alaska Current, which carries relatively warm Pacific waters northward and westward along the southern Aleutian Islands. Those warm oceanic waters enter the Bering Sea and then flow eastward along the northern coast of the Aleutians. The mixing of the warm waters with the Bering Sea's cold water contributes to an atmospheric low-pressure center known as the Aleutian Low. The Arctic coast of Alaska, on the other hand, is bathed by a cold westward flowing ocean current. So it means that Alaska has a cold, dry, polar climate with frequent winter blizzards. For its demographics, Alaska population in 2023 is expected to be 733,913 and is the largest U.S. state by area with 663,268 square miles. For its gastronomy, from hearty game meats to freshly foraged berries, Alaska cuisine is a treat for your taste buds. Alaskan food is a product of its geography. So the first dish we have is king crab leg. Alaskan king crab leg is legendary. The pristine, frigid waters off the coast of Alaska produce some of the largest, meatiest crabs on the planet. The meat itself is sweet and soft. As a bonus, Alaskan crabs are always wild caught, making it a sustainable choice for dinner. Then next we have here's the reindeer sausage, offered on breakfast platters and as a pizza topping. Reindeer sausage is a true Alaskan specialty. And lastly, we have spot prawns and oysters. Other seafood treats to try when you travel to Alaska are spot prawns, which are huge sweet shrimp caught locally in season, and oysters, which are farmed year-round in cold Alaskan waters. For its customs and culture, Alaska natives share a belief in the reincarnation of both people and animals. By honoring the animal spirits, they hope to ensure success in future hunting seasons. Alaska may be known for its pristine nature, snowy mountains, and abundant wildlife, but the state has a rich cultural history too. Towns and settlements have been shaped by human endeavor, from the local tribes who have lived off the land and the sea for thousands of years to gold rush prospectors whose time here was brief but whose legacy lives on. For its destination, rugged beauty, fascinating wildlife, and charming seaside towns are just a few of the things you can expect on a visit to Alaska. First, we have Fairbanks. A visit to Fairbanks is surely to take your breath away. Travel here in the summer to experience the legendary midnight sun, a phenomenon where the sun shines nearly all day, or visit in winter for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Next is the Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. Although getting here is a bit of a challenge because there is no road access in or out of the park, the sheer beauty of Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve makes the journey more than worth it. Next and lastly is the Kenai George National Park. It is fed by nearly 40 glaciers glowing from the Harding ice field. It is the least of many Alaskan itineraries. For a full-day guided boat tour from seaward, it is less wouldn't do justice to the park's overwhelming beauty. stellar sea lions, harbor seals, and humpback whales. If you're feeling adventurous, this destination is for you. And lastly, we have the visa entry. So this is just the same with Alabama because they are just both under the US state. So you need to get a B1 or B2 visa because again, like what I've said, it is a mandatory document to enter and visit the US. So in order for you to get that visa, you need to have a valid passport, your photo, you need to check as well your email address before proceeding to the interview, and lastly is the means of payment. So that will be the end of this discussion. I hope you learn a lot from me. Again, I am Jimin Tanawan. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.